What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Saturday, October 2nd.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Oh, and good news, guys. Make sure to stay tuned to the very end of this video because we removed the box that was popping up and blocking the lineup. So now you can see a full lineup using these picks that we made in this video if you stay to the very end. Okay, guys, we have a 9-game slate tonight, and I've got some fantastic picks for you. So at the pitcher position, I like Lucas Giolito pitching against the Detroit Tigers. Lucas Giolito is a balanced pitcher, only giving up a .629 OPS versus lefties, a .639 OPS versus righties, and a .638 OPS versus switch hitters. He's facing 1 lefty, 4 righties, and 4 switch hitters. On top of that, the Tigers have only hit 40 of his last 146 pitches. That's a 274 batting average and a huge sample size. So Lucas Giolito is $9,900 FanDuel salary, $400 more on DraftKings, projected at 40.1 fantasy points here tonight. He has an ERA of 3.58. His record is 11-9 on the season, pitching an average of 97 pitches per game. He's averaging 34 fantasy points per game, and he scored 46, 31, and 27 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Lucas Giolito here versus the Detroit Tigers. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher first base position. I like Frank Schwindel with a 48% batting advantage over John Lester. Frank Schwindel, he's batting 21% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a 1.203 OPS versus lefties. And John Lester, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 27% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .886 OPS versus righties. Now, Frank Schwindel is 0 for 3 versus Lester, but the splits are great here, and he's $3,700 FanDuel salary, and he's $600 less on DraftKings. So I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 13.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 4, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Frank Schwindel here versus John Lester. Okay, everyone, it's time to announce the winner of our $25 weekly PayPal giveaway. And the winner is Cooper Sumner. Cooper Sumner, congratulations. You are the winner of this week's $25 PayPal giveaway. Please reply to our comment to collect your prize.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Jorge Polanco with a 21% batting advantage over Chris Bubic. Jorge Polanco is batting 11% better versus lefty pitchers, batting a .803 OPS versus lefties. And Chris Bubic, he pitches his worst ball versus switch hitters, 9% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .880 OPS versus switch hitters. And I like this pick because Jorge Polanco is 6 for 11, batting a .545 batting average and a 1.272 OPS versus Bubic. He's $3,600 FanDuel salary, $1,200 more on DraftKings, projected at 9.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 10, 6, and 29 fantasy points in his last 3 games. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Jorge Polanco here versus Kris Bubic. Now I also like Javier Baez. He's in a good spot. But if you want a value play, take a look at Tony Kemp with a 24% batting advantage over Jake Odorizzi. Tony Kemp is batting 41% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .736 OPS versus righties. And Jake Odorizzi, he's giving up a .780 OPS versus lefties. Tony Kemp is 2 for 4 with a 1 OPS versus Odorizzi. And Tony Kemp is only $2,300 FanDuel salary, $1,400 more on DraftKings, projected at 9.9 fantasy points here tonight. Now he's only averaging 7 fantasy points per game on the season, but he's been on fire, scoring 25, 19, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Tony Kemp here versus Jake Odorizzi. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. Here's another value play. I like Jonathan Villar with a 23% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Jesse Chavez. Jonathan Villar is batting 4% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .683 OPS versus righties. And Jesse Chavez, he pitches his worst ball versus switch hitters, 19% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .900 OPS versus switch hitters. Now, Jonathan Villar is only 1 for 6 versus Chavez, but the splits are good here, and he's only $2,600 FanDuel salary, $1,100 more on DraftKings, projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 8 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 16, and 0 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Jonathan Villar here versus Jesse Chavez.
Real quick guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. Another value play. I like Dansby Swanson with a 32% batting advantage over Carlos Carrasco. Dansby Swanson is batting 21% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .809 OPS versus righties. And Carlos Carrasco, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters, 12% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .775 OPS versus righties. Now, Dansby Swanson is only $2,700 FanDuel salary, $1,600 more on DraftKings, projected at 9.8 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 16, and 19 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Dansby Swanson here versus Carlos Carrasco. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Franmil Reyes with a 17% batting advantage over Jordan Lyles. Franmil Reyes is batting 10% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .847 OPS versus righties. And Jordan Lyles, he's pitching 7% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .878 OPS versus righties. Now I like this pick because Franmil Reyes is 3 for 6, batting .500 with a 1.667 OPS versus Lyles. One of those three hits is a home run, and he's got a double in there. And Franmil Reyes is only $3,400 FanDuel salary, $1,700 more on DraftKings, projected at 10.4 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 11 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 9 and 13 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Franmil Reyes here versus Jordan Lyles. Okay, now one of my favorite plays on the slate, take a look at Michael Brantley with a 44% batting advantage over Paul Blackburn. Michael Brantley is batting 34% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .924 OPS versus righties. And Paul Blackburn, he pitches his worst ball versus lefty batters, 9% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.026 OPS versus lefties. And Michael Brantley is 3 for 9, batting a .333 batting average and a .956 OPS versus Blackburn. So those are good splits, pretty good batter versus pitcher matchup, excellent OPS average. And take a look at this. Michael Brantley is only $2,500 FanDuel salary, $1,200 more on DraftKings. So I love that FanDuel price. He's a lock for me on FanDuel. Projected at 11 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 0, 3, and 0 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So I like Michael Brantley here versus Paul Blackburn.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.